Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We're in episode 2 of our third series on PEDs, and we're going to follow up our first episode on Clenbuterol with an episode on the thyroid hormones. And this is one that's a little bit confusing, I think, to a lot of people, even myself, Adam, in that, what can you truly, outside of something like Synthroid, that is replacing something in your body that's going to affect TSH, what can you truly supplement? T3, T4, what's actually bioavailable in a synthetic form for a competitor or anybody who needs that?
Yeah, so you can use both T4 and T3. More commonly, people use T3. That's actually the active fat burning hormone. T4 is the precursor to T3. So T4 converts to T3. Typically, I like to use both. It's more bioidentical to your body. You wouldn't necessarily want T3 levels high, and you're going to suppress the thyroid stimulating hormone. So then it just wouldn't make sense to me to have really high T3 and low T4. Like the body just doesn't work that way. So usually it's a 4 to, or I think it's a 2 to 4 ratio. So like if you were to do like 100 micrograms of T3, you would do 200 at T4. But that's really high. I'm just using that as a simple example. So typically, though, you really only want to replace a suppressed thyroid. You don't really want to ramp that up like super high. Minimum effective dose. There's a couple myths that come with T3. Some people think that it burns muscle, and that's not necessarily true. There is more protein turnover with it. However, the burning muscle thing all comes down to pace. So if I have someone losing 2.5 pounds a week due to a nutritional deficit, they're going to lose some muscle. And if you do the same thing with T3, which is very powerful, by the way, definitely stronger than Clen, you're going to lose some muscle. So the pace of loss needs to be slow, and you only replace in a manner, or replace and then add some food. You just want to slow that pace down. But I've seen people lose 30 pounds a week on this stuff just because they dose too high. And some people get really caught on that.
Yeah, then like you said, you're losing that fast. It's going to be more muscle, even though this is a supplement that's creating it. It's still going to induce that muscle loss. But all of these things have to have a clinical application, or they would not even be available as drug compounds. So, what in normal medical use do people use T3 and T4? Is it truly for thyroid replacements?
Yeah. So if somebody comes back and they're T3 is low, they'll supplement with T3. The nice thing is your gland still produces some. When you take T3, a lot of people think that you're going to ruin the gland or it's not going to come back to normal. Your gland's really resilient. There was actually a study with a guy named Dr. Greer. He had worked with misdiagnosed thyroid patients. Some of those patients had been on T3 for like 30 years. Within 2 weeks of them being off, their thyroids returned back to normal. So that's another myth, because you'll hear a lot of people say, oh, that coach wrecked me. They had me on thyroid meds. A lot of it just comes down to consistency, reverse dieting. So it really isn't that harmful to the thyroid. However, just like Clen, in high enough dosages, hard on the heart, and just hard on the body in general. When you're overstimulated like that, some people can even start losing their hair if you get that level up too high. So you need to be careful with it. And I would definitely choose it over Clen, which is really taboo. But at the same time, I'm also very careful about anyone that wants to use it.
Is Cytomel still around? Is that something people use in conjunction with the thyroid hormones?
Yeah, Cytomel's still around. I'm trying to think of the trade names of the other ones. It starts with a T, to diathone, or
So is
triiodine.
that just a drug name of T3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, and some of them are going to contain both T3 and T4. Some will be just T4. A lot of it comes from Mexico
Yeah.
or research websites where you use the drops. The thing with the drops, though, you have to be really careful. Like you need to shake those, or else, boom, you just get like a massive dose at the bottom of the container. So you really, if you do buy that research grade stuff, you have to shake it because you'll run into some trouble if you don't.
Gotcha. All right. Well, besides just showing my ignorance in this realm, you have made me think as we've gone through these 3 series that it would be great to talk to somebody who has gone through this, because we're not going to sit here and create some kind of a recipe protocol list and say, here, get these drugs, go here to buy them and do it this way. But at the same time, people out there need information to follow that's not going to harm them. And so anyway, I'm thinking that in the back of my mind for maybe a follow-up to this final series. But you guys stay put in Contest Prep University. We're going to be back next time and start talking about the other non-anabolics that are still categorized as PEDs. See you next time.